Jai Mahamaya Ki Jai. We'll go on with chapter 18 in the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, book 9. Book 11. Narada spoke, O Bhagavan, I am now very eager to hear the special pujas of the Sri Devi. The people get their desires fulfilled if they worship her. Narayana said, O Darvarsi, I shall now especially speak to you of the world mother Bhagavati is and how she's worshipped. By worshipping whom one easily gets objects of enjoyment's liberation and the destruction of all evils. Controlling one's speech and making Atman, one must make one's sankalp and perform bhatasuddhi, placing the conch shell and doing other necessary acts. Offering the ordinary argaya, one should give special argaya with the mantra astra vat and sprinkle all the articles brought for worship. Taking the Guru's permission, he is to go on with his puja. First worship the pitha or seat whereupon the Devi is going to be placed, then perform meditation of the Devi. Then with great devotion offer the Devi the seat and other articles of worship, and then perform the bath of the Devi by the water of the 5 nectars. If anybody performs the bath ceremony of Sri Devi with 100 jars of sugar cane juice, he will not have to incur any future birth. He performs this bath and recites the Veda mantras with mango juice or sugarcane juice, gets forever Lakshmi, ever and ever, Saraswati bound at his doors. He who gives the sacred bath of the Devi with grape juice, along with his relatives and acquaintances, dwells in the Devi Loka for as many years as there are atoms in the juice. He who bathes the Devi with the Vedic mantras and with water scented with camphor, the fragrance, aloe wood, saffron, and musk, becomes freed at once of the sins acquired in his hundreds of births. He who bathes the Devi with jars of milk lives in the ocean of milk. So he does this bathing ceremony with jars of curd, becomes a lord of the reservoir of curd. He who performs the bath of the Devi with honey, ghee, and sugar becomes a lord of these things. He who bathes the Devi with 1,000 jars becomes happy in this world as in the next. If you give her a pair of silken clothes, you go to the Vayu Loka. If you give her the jewel ornaments, you will become the lord of the gems and jewels. If anybody gives saffron, sandalwood paste, musk, sindhu, and red things, he will go to the heavens and become there the Indra, the lord of the Devas, in his next birth. Various flowers ought to be offered in the Sri Devi's worship, or the flowers of the season offered to the Devi will lead the devotee to Kailash. The devotees that offers the beautiful bell leaves to the Devi experiences no more pain or difficulties. The devotees who writes the Bija mantra of the Maya, Bim Bhuvaneshwari Nama, with red sandalwood paste, thrice on the tri-leaves of the bilva tree leaf, and offers this to the lotus feet of the Devi, becomes Manu by the merits of this virtuous act. The devotee becomes the lord of the whole universe who worships the Devi Bhagavati with 10 million of entire bilva leaves. The worship of the Devi with 10 million malika and malati flowers besmeared with 8 cents becomes the 4-faced Brahma. In days of yore, Vishnu worshipped the Devi in the aforesaid way, and so he got his Vishnuhood. If any devotee worships the Devi with 100 kotis of malaki or malati flowers, the man becomes certainly Slutrama Hiranyagarbha. In ancient days, Hiranyagarbha worshipped the Devi, with great devotion, and so he became Hiranyagarbha. Vanduka and Dadini flowers, if they be offered in the worship, various other beautiful flowers can be offered duly to the Devi by the devotee. The merits accrued from offering such flowers are not known even to the god Ishvara. The flowers that spring in their proper seasons are to be offered every year to the Devi, repeating her 1,000 names enumerated in the 12th book of the Karma Purana. If the above worship be offered to the Devi, then that man, whether he be a sinner or a great sinner, will be freed from all his sins. And after leaving his mortal coil, he will get, no doubt, the lotus feet of the Sri Devi Bhagavati. Offer dupa made of black agaru, camphor, sandalwood paste, red sandalwood paste, shalaka, and gugala, saturated with ghee in such a way as the whole room of the Divine Mother's scents with pure fragrance smells. The Devi Bhagavati becomes pleased with this and offers the lordship of the 3 lokas to that devotees. The devotee who offers daily the light of camphor to the Devi goes to Surya Loka. There is no doubt in this. With one's own whole heart, one should give 100 or 1,000 lights to the Devi. The devotee should offer heaps of food consisting of 6 rasas, the plates and dishes for chewing and all the different various tastes. Always give food solid and liquid, mountain-like high. Always give food on golden flat plates and cups and various delicious sweets, juicy, nice, heavenly fruits, nicely arranged on trays, cups, and saucers. When Sri Mahadevi Bhuvaneshwari gets pleased, the whole universe gets pleased. For the whole universe is all Devi. As a rope is mistaken for a snake, so this Mahadevi is mistaken for the universe. Offer a jar of drinking Ganga's water, scented with camphor, to the Devi. Then offer beetles, nut with camphor, cloves, cardamom, and various other scents. These all are to be offered with great devotion, so that Devi may be pleased. Next, have music with holy mridangas, flutes, and other beautiful instruments. The Veda mantras are to be recited, the Puranas are to be read, and the hymns to be chanted with whole heart and soul. Then circumambulate around her and prostrate before her and ask her kindness and pray to her to forgive all faults and shortcomings. The Devi is pleased with anybody who remembers her even once. What wonder then she will be pleased with all these offerings. The mother is naturally merciful to her child. When she is loved with devotion, when she becomes very merciful, there is nothing strange here. On the point, I will recite to you the history of Vrindavrata Rajarsi, hearing which gives rise to bhakti and love. Once in a certain region in the Himalayas, there lived a bird called Kakrakvak. It flew over many countries and went once to Kasidam. As a fruit of his prarambha karma, that bird, desirous to find some rice beans, voluntarily went like an orphan round about the temple of Sri Annapurna Devi. There, circumambulating around the Devi Bhagavati, the bird left the city, Kashi, that grants liberation, and flew away to another country. In time, the bird left his body and went to heavens. There he assumed a heavenly form of a youth and began to enjoy various pleasures. Thus he enjoyed for 2 kalpas. Then he got back to the earth and took his birth as the best in the Kshatriya family. He became celebrated as the king Viradastra. in this world. That king was truthful, controlled, his senses were controlled, and practiced great charities and deep concentration, and knew everything of the past, the present, and the future. He conquered all the enemies and performed various sacrifices and became the emperor of the sea-girt earth, and acquired the very rare faculty, the knowledge of everything of his previous births. The Munis came to know of this from various rumors and came to the king. The king duly entertained those guests. The Munis took their seats and asked, "O king, we hear that all the events of the previous births are vividly reflected in your memory. On this point, great doubts have come upon us. Kindly describe in detail by what merits you have come to know all of these previous births and the knowledge of the past, the present, and the future. We have come to know how you got this wonderful supersensual knowledge. Kindly say this to us." Narayana said, "O Brahman, the very religious king heard them and began to speak out all the secret causes for his knowledge of the past, the present, and the future. Thus, O Munis, hear how I acquired this knowledge. In my previous birth, I was a very low bird. Once, out of my ignorance, I circumambulated around the temple of the Devi Bhagavati Annapurna at Kashi, and as a result of that, I lived in the heavens for a period of 2 kalpas. I've got this birth, and I've got the knowledge of the past, the present, and the future. O you of good vows, who can ascertain what amount of merits accrues from remembering the feet of the World Mother? Remembering her glories, I always shed tears of joy. Those who do not worship the adorable deity, the Divine Mother, are the great sinners, and they are treacherous. For on their births, the worship of Vishnu is not eternal. Only the worship of the Divine Mother is eternal. Thus it is stated in the Shrutis. What more shall I speak on this worship of the World Mother, which is void of the best trace of any doubt? Everyone ought to serve devoutly the lotus feet of the Divine Mother. There is no other act more glorious in this world than serving the feet of Jagadamba. It is highly necessary to serve the highest Devi, whether in her saguna or in her nirguna aspect. Narayana said, hearing the words of the virtuous Rajarsi, the king, the Munis went back to their respective abodes. Such is the power of the Devi, the Divine Mother. So who can question about the certainty of the high merits arising from the worship of the Divine Mother, and who will not reply when so questioned? Their births are really fruitful who possess faith in the Devi worship. But of those who have no such faith, there is some wrong mixture, no doubt, in their birth. Here ends the 18th chapter of the 11th book on the greatness of the Devi Puja and the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Veda Vyasa. Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Vishveshwari Mata ki jai, Buddha Baba ki jai.